Well, the FM26 beta period has come to an end, which does mean it's time to start a brand new save, and that is the Globe Explorer. Now, before we do start the save, there are some rules to come with it. Obviously, rule one, obviously start with the team closest to your house, in which in this case is Weston-Super-Mare. So you got to start with the closest team, lowest playable league, which is the Vanarama South or North, or whichever country you come from, the lowest playable league, whether it's the Welsh second division, Irish fourth division, whatever that means. And you have to start there and win the Champions League. Could win the Women's Champions League, but preferably to win both would be absolutely fantastic. So that's rule one. Rule two is the players. Players can only be signed either if Director of Football has suggested us, or using the player database screen just by using sorted by the scouted only players. So can't search up your favourite players, because I know I'm like I will search up anyone and everyone to try and sign them, particularly from my boys Exeter City, because they've got a lot of great youngsters. I cannot do that. They have to come through the scouted player system or the director of football suggested transfers. So free transfers might be a bit interesting this FM, because obviously we can't just ask the director for free transfer suggestions. So that's going to be it might take some time to get used to, but I think we'll be fine. And obviously, thirdly, staff must only be appointed through obviously the director of football, the technical director, or through the job vacancy screen. So no going to the top Premier League clubs and taking their best staff, because that is completely out of the window. And obviously, the fourth and probably the final rule, unless there's any else I couldn't think of. Rule four is you must keep the save as realistic as possible. Obviously, we're starting off in the National South. If we were to go, I don't know, say a job offer came up from the, I don't know, a National League side who are probably batting relegation and we're probably first. So realistically, would I take it? No. But if they offer me like 3 or 4 times my salary, realistically, would I take it? Probably yes. But we'll cross that road when it obviously it comes to it. And obviously, finally, I did have a rule come up in my head, but I honestly cannot remember. But obviously, final rule is win the Champions League and cement yourself as the greatest manager in history. So let's get cracking and meet our first team. Hello, welcome to Club 1, Part 1 of the Globe Explorer. Coming up in today's episode, we are going to be taking a look around our first starting club of this year's version of the Globe Explorer, and that is Weston-Super-Mare. That's right, I am hired as the Weston-Super-Mare manager. I feel bad for Scott Rogers, because he is the manager of Weston-Super-Mare in real life. He hasn't been there for very long, but he's left. I've come in. I'm a 22-year-old English manager set to be named as Weston-Super-Mare's new boss in a move that many expect to see the club injected with a renewed energy, with fans expecting to see attacking, entertaining football. An inspiration lead, I sure am, with a driven mentality. Clapworthy will join the Seagulls in a move that will intrigue many within the game, and insiders are confident that his traits are well suited to building the sort of culture expected throughout the club. So let's begin the career. Got. I'm sure we'll have plenty of tasks to complete. I think so. Let's go on. Hang on. How much money are we on? Because obviously I'm in Exeter. We're going to Weston-Super-Mare. I can't be commuting every day to Weston-Super-Mare. So we are on 825 quid. So let's open up a mortgage calculator and see and figure out how much we can borrow. Those of you who didn't know where Weston-Super-Mare is in conjunction to where I'm based in Devon, so it is quite far. So to travel by car, it's 58 miles. To do that every single day, back and forth, is going to be tiring. So definitely, yeah, we're going to have to move up to Weston-Super-Mare at some point. Not saying we're going to move up now, but at some point we will do. But this is how much we can borrow from a non-specific mortgage calculator. 235,000 from what we earn in a year. Well, we do earn £825, which is roughly around 49,000 a year, which is very nice. So it should be hard to find a property in Weston-Super-Mare. I've already got my eye on a building, so I think we'll probably just take a look at this one because realistically we don't need that many bedrooms. Let's take a look at the photos because it's got a nice terrace for Weston-Super-Mare. Hopefully we have a view of the sea or a view of something, but at the moment it does look quite nice. It's quite spacious. Obviously, it's just me living there. No one else to accompany me, but I'm sure we'll find someone. But quite a reasonably decent sized living room, and there's a lot of seating on that sofa, a lot indeed. But I'm sure we'll find some use for it. Decent again, a decent sized kitchen. Again, I'm not going to be spending much time at my house, so definitely, it's definitely big enough. Nice, decent hob that. Quite recent that. I mean, you don't find too many of those hobs. So it's an induction hob, which is quite good. The oven is pretty bog standard. There's the bedroom. That's quite small. That very small indeed. What's that? What the hell is that? Is that some sort of desk? I presume. Yeah, that's not my type of bedroom. And the bathroom is pretty decent. Obviously, for a first house, it's completely, absolutely fine. I don't think there's anything else. There is a floor plan, so there is. Is it just one floor? I'm presuming. But yeah, just one floor. That's all I need. I don't need the house too big for me to get lost. But obviously, first house, there is room for improvement. But now, let's meet the players. Well, for the first house, it's not too bad. Obviously, that's the house all sorted and secured for at least for this season. We do have a contract just for the 1 year, so we kind of need to get going fast if we want to try and sign a contract extension. In terms of reputation, I got no reputation at all, and obviously zero coaching badges. So I've got no qualifications. My playing level pretty rubbish. So let's meet the squad. Try and figure out what sort of system we are going to be playing. But at the moment, who is our best player? Our best player is Sam Pearson, who is a left mid. So obviously, he's already screaming a 4-4-2. I think realistically, that is basically what we're going to be doing. We're not going to do a fancy 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 because realistically, we're in the National South. Sam Pearson is 23 years old. Where's he come from? Who's he play for? Yeovil. He's basically a living Southwest legend at the moment. Not yet, but he could be potentially. But it's quite decent. Welsh as well, so potentially a Welsh international on our hands. Second best player, Michael Smith, 36 years old. Wants to be inverted wingback, does he? I don't think that's going to happen, but he looks like a decent player, I must admit. I mean, he's 36, so he's got bags of experience. Has played for clubs like he hasn't played at too many clubs in England. He's only played at Bristol Rovers, Peterborough, and obviously Yeovil and now Weston-Super-Mare in England. He's played in Scotland and Northern Ireland, which it's not too bad. That Daniel Martin is our third best player as a left back. So we've got a left back, we've got a right back, we've got a right mid. Yeah, we do actually have a right mid. I didn't actually see him at first. So yeah, I think it's definitely just a bog standard 4-4-2. But we do have James Waite, who is technically he is a number 10, but he can play as a centre mid, can play as a striker. So we might use him as a striker. We might just use him as a centre mid. We don't. We do have James Dodd, who have a is a centre mid, which is very, very good. A midfield playmaker. Gambler is a central midfielder. So I think we'll probably do a playmaker and a central midfielder. Won't bother doing any other fancy stuff like a channel midfielder or wide central midfielder because that does not make any sense. We do have backup left wingers, Real Doors, 24 years old, wanted listed for loan. I don't think what's his decent enterprise south, which is very, very good. Bags of playing experience. About 24 years old. He's played for quite a number of clubs. So obviously the backup right winger. Ollie Chamberlain is comfortable at playing on the right hand side. He's not an inside winger, is he? He's just a bog standard winger, and that's it. We're playing bog standard wingers. We're not doing inside wingers. None of that rubbish. Who else we've got? We've got Ollie Chamberlain. Oh, we've just spoken about him. Lewis Britton, who is a striker, a target forward, quite tall, 192 centimeters, which is just under probably about 6'4", I think. So he's quite tall. That might be quite useful. Jason Pope as a additional right back can play in a number of positions, centre back, CDM, and centre mid, but he's probably going to be a backup right back, I presume. And obviously, a number of other players include Jake Hicks, only 17 years old, which is quite good. Emlyn Lewis doesn't look too great. Jacob Jagger Kane, all of these 2.5 stars, probably going to end up going to be backups. So we've got Jacob Jagger Kane, great player. Well, could be not a great player, but he's a Weston-Super-Mare legend. Came through at Exeter, which is quite nice. I think we've got quite a few players that played for Exeter City. Jason Pope did, James Dodd. Did Ollie Chamberlain, did you come through at Exeter? No, you did not. You played for Taunton for most of your career. We've got Max Harris, who is our only goalkeeper at the club. I think we'll be fine with him, but obviously we can utilise the loan market if we need to. Who's in the under 21? So we've got Sir Brendan Back, who does have 5-star potential. Sam Avery, yeah, he doesn't look that great. Jacob Glover, yeah, doesn't look that great. Ollie Jenkins, decent potential. Then obviously other youngsters. Under 18s, we've got Christian Woods, who, yeah, I doubt we're going to touch the under 18s, or we might potentially call up Ollie Jenkins because he is 19. What is Sam Avery? Is he officially? He's not like a player coach, is he? He is a player coach. That's why he's in the under 21s. That makes sense. I think Ollie Jenkins might potentially have a call up, but he is only a centre attacker mid, so he might not bother calling him up. So let's get the tactics loaded in, and let's just see what the assistant manager suggests. So we're not doing the route one. We're not doing fluid counter attack. Certainly ain't doing Parker Bus. So I think at the moment it probably will just be a bog standard wing player, bog standard 4-4-2. We'll just load up a 4-2-4, but that's certainly not what we're playing. So I think we'll probably, at the moment, we'll just do a box standard 4-4-2. But there's nothing wrong with a box standard 4-4-2. We'll probably just do that out of possession as well. We could theoretically do something like this: 4-2-4 in possession, then a 4-2-4 out of possession. But that might be a little bit too complicated for our players. But let's just see what Quick Pick says is our best 11, and obviously don't forget to do the player pick roles in possession and out of a possession because that is really helpful. It really is. So obviously Martin is our best left back. So I think left backs, right backs are pretty. I think the wingers are actually pretty alright. It's just the middle of the pitch. So the centre backs, centre mids. James Dodd is actually a decent player. Jagger Kane. I think we can look out for some loan players, and obviously the strikers. I think could do with some improvement. We've got a little squad, so there's potentially room for improvement. I don't know how much budget we're working with. So we've got no budget. We do have some budget. We've got £450 available on the wages. What sort of wages are we playing? Just out of curiosity. Let's get into contracts. How much are we playing? So yeah, £700 for part time, which is it's all right. Sam Pearson, look at his transfer value, 45 to 250k. Luke Colson is pretty decent as well. I mean, for a 31-year-old, we're not going to get his value, are we? But he is contracted. Both Luke Colson and Sam Pearson both contracted until 2027. So we've got some decent players. We really do. So I think we'll be fine in terms of. I think the starting 11 is decent. Just need a few backups here and there. So let's sort it by position. So definitely, obviously, I will do transfers off camera. Obviously, goalkeepers is a must. Not really a must down in the lower league, but definitely could do with another goalkeeper, whether or not he's on the bench. Probably not on the bench because down in the lower leagues you only get 5 players allowed to sit on the bench. But I think I think I can do something with this squad. Obviously, we've only got one out and out striker, which is not great, to be honest. Who's Jordan Baston? Who is he? How long is he out for? Nice. He's out for the season. Let's just forget that he exists. That's not great at all. I'd take to be him because obviously most of these players are part time and probably will have working jobs as well. So for him to have an ACL and out for 13 to 15 months must be absolutely torture. We ain't going to see him play in a Weston-Super-Mare shirt. So that's him gone. So obviously we do need a goalkeeper. Right backs are sorted. We do need another left back just to compete with Daniel Martin, whether that's a young one, alone, I couldn't care less. Just whoever we can get in will be ideal. In terms of centre backs, we've only got Emlyn, Lewis, and Callum Wood. Obviously, Jason Pope can provide cover there as well. So potentially, maybe a lone centre back. I think we'll try and get in some freebies if we can. Then potentially just fill out the rest of the squad with loans. Try and get at least 5 loan players in because I think that will really help us out in terms of getting the squad up and going. But in terms of the season preview, we are predicted to finish, I think that's 17th. I think we're predicted to finish 17th. So that's 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st, 20, 19. Yeah, predicted to finish 17th, just above Bath City, who were the other contenders for the other starting team, which could possibly end up being next year's starting team. But I do want to give Darren Way some time as Bath City manager before I take over from him. Do we have anyone in the media dream 11? I wouldn't have thought we do. Is that Tim Dieng? What's he doing playing for Dagenham and Redbridge in the whatever league we're in, National South? We're absolutely ridiculous. But this is our predicted 11. It's Harrison goal, Smith, Lewis, Pope, and Martin as the back four. Pope is interesting because I don't think he's much of a starter, but I think he'll be fine. Coulson and Pearson as the 2 wingers, Chamberlain and Dodd as the 2 centre mids, followed by a striking partnership of Britton and Waite. That doesn't seem too bad, but yeah, it's going to be a long journey ahead of us as we try and hopefully try and sign some players, and that's probably what we will do in the obviously off camera. I will do that, but in the meantime, I will see you all in tomorrow's episode where we will be playing our first fixtures in charge of Weston-Super-Mare, and they will be against Hornchurch and Chelmsford. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more Daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.